marijuana.
All of these custom agents. Oh, I swear, when I opened his luggage, it smelled like there was pounds and pounds of weed in there. And the more we searched, we got to his bag of underwear.
Turned out to be just his underwear.
It was just socks and underwear.
So you're saying you're so permeated.
For real.
Farting terpenes.
I'm so permeated. Literally,
Without a permit.
I've been taken into secondary.
No permit.
Because they thought I was holding.
Potentially, we've achieved liveness. Have we?
Hello.
Really?
Woohoo!
There we are.
We're just talking about bum terps.
We're having a
here live on.
serious intellectual conversation here.
You don't know you're live till you see it on TV. Yeah, welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, so we must be from under the influence.
Something.
But you could actually tune in any day, and we would be from under the influence. So, I'm Marijuana Man, and along with me today is Al the Alchemist.
What's happening?
With his new Kush fucking hoodie on. And Rose is in the house too. I don't know if we got a cam there.
That's okay.
There it is. And Anil's here too. Vicky's in the house.
Here I am.
Back over there on the couch. We got a cam?
Couch cam.
No couch cam. Wow, but a delay on the screen. Hey, look at that delay. It's crazy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's all you need.
That's all you get.
Few grains.
Wait, we'll put some more on there.
That's all you get. Name grapes.
There.
I'm kidding. Those are bum terps.
It's a little jar. That's a jar of bum terps.
Don't let them ruin terps for you.
So what we did is we organized a flash mob bicycle ride. 340 people showed up. We then rode for 2.5 hours.
Did it in Louisiana.
Uphill. And at the end of the bike ride, we took all of the bicycle seats and distilled them and made this little vial here, this little jar of bum terps.
Well, approximately how many did that take?
Well, it was 300. What it was, 340 seats approximately. Yeah.
I lost count at one.
Well, that would be 680.
So there, you didn't really think you were going to learn anything here today. But beyond that, we are all here gathered. So what? Winter here in Vancouver, what is it, about like 6-7 degrees?
6 above, yeah.
Feels like just
Feels like
one
about 6 or 7 above.
toque.
Feels like a one toque day.
There was a thing in the there was yesterday in the weather. There was a fucking extreme weather warning that it might go to -2.
-2.
Yeah.
Do you know it's like -50 in the part of the world where I'm from, in the Yukon Territory? It's been consistently hovering around -50 for about 3 weeks now.
Awesome.
Right?
Feels like -1,000.
They finally said no school today.
It's too cold for school.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to cost us so much to heat the school.
Knowledge is frozen.
Yep.
Too cool for school.
Literally.
Yeah, so Cannabis Culture announced today to the world that we are, in fact, being muscled out of the weed business.
Ran out of the game.
Running out of town.
Chased off the block by the...
Yeah. No, the city
by the
is
big,
getting
the big
nasty now. So, yeah, we've been ordered to close the dispensaries and that's pretty much what the plan is. At this moment, anyway.
A little bit sad.
Oh yeah. Although, you know, not totally unexpected.
No.
But
No, definitely not totally unexpected. What?
People out of work. But, you know, the bigger issue here is how lame the fucking city of Vancouver is. How lame the mayor is. Like, really? Come on, dude. You had the chance and still have the chance to become the fucking best mayor Vancouver ever had by celebrating the fact that you are in the midst of the best cannabis in Canada with that reputation already in place. But no, you are just like the old mayor. You know, new mayor, old gray mayor. Right? The fuck? Same shit, different fucking shirt. All it is. Like, come on. Like, why not? What the fuck have you, whatever your name is, Kennedy Stewart, is that his name?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a last name? That's very suspicious.
Yeah, he rode the anti-pipeline protest. Right?
But, come on. Like, what would you have to lose by becoming a champion of this industry here? And what the fuck? The BC Supreme Court just said that as a city, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can supersede federal law anytime you want. Because Vancouver City has every right to govern these illegal pawn shops.
Are there no grounds for a class action suit from all of the dispensaries that shut down prematurely to get their civil licensing, which has now been taken away from them? There's got to be.
Oh, there's potentially.
There's got to be grounds for a class action civil suit there, because they
It costs a lot.
cost a lot, and it was in falsehood. There's not even a chance to renew that license. It's completely a program set up in falsehood to steal money from people. Is the way it could be spun. Like, really?
Wow.
They didn't just rob all of you shops that's put hundreds of thousands of dollars into permits and upgrades. They didn't just steal all of that from you guys when they set up a program in falsehood? Of course they did.
Oh yeah, it's all fucking just crooked, suck as much money out of the deal as you can possibly get from their perspective and from every perspective along the line. Really what they've legalized here is two things. Conflict of interest is now legal and middlemen. As many fucking guys getting in between you and cannabis as can come out of the fucking woodwork.
Well, we got to be honest. There's been no
Yeah.
legalization at all. Like, they didn't legalize anything. They legislated it and put it through more intricate bindings than it had originally been in.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Intricate bindings.
very intricate bindings.
Sounds kinky.
Yeah, well,
Got it.
what do you expect? What do you expect from a bunch of grown men that put on fluffy wigs and pretend that they have I don't know,
Like they have any
Curls.
terpenes up their butt,
Yeah.
right?
pretending that they have any butt terps.
Should be so lucky.
You guys
You
got
have to be there to
you
hear
guys
that.
got no butt terps.
You have to be there. Don't ask.
So yeah, it sucks, but I never saw a way out anyway. There's just no way they were going to let us sell weed that wasn't coming from through their government
No,
pipeline.
obviously not. But how about actually legitimizing the location and allowing the ones that do want to sell the sanctioned cannabis to be able to sell it at their pre-existing storefronts to their pre-existing clientele?
Just let me get that fucking weed tested. Why can't I have the guy who brings it to me? He's already had it tested. And the little piece of papers, and then you're telling me that if you were to buy government weed, that I'm to take at face value.
Well, yeah,
that
because
the test was done and it's real.
Well, that's a misconception too, because it's not it's not like every pound of weed gets tested.
No,
they might take like a sample from that corner of the greenhouse and say, okay, yeah, that's the.
yeah.
Yeah, we tested it.
Just
A mile away from the other.
It's been tested.
corner.
yeah, as far away from the mold as they could get. But what more do we need? Like they've gone so absolutely berserk in over-regulating this. See, it's not like we like to break the rules here at Cannabis Culture. That isn't the plan. Right? The plan is to write the rules to something that could be considered to be fair and fucking reasonable and not so very punitive. Can you lay off with the punitive? Holy fuck.
Punitive butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It just goes on and on and on. Right? They forgot to stop being punitive with legalization. Right? So I don't know. Like, it's bizarre. So now they're saying, oh, there's potentially going to be shortages for 3 years. And you go, well, fuck you. Like, we've already figured out how to grow weed, and we can provide it for ourselves. Stats Canada today, like, these people have nothing else to do. They just keep fucking doing surveys about cannabis consumption. So they concluded today and announced that the black market since October 17th has sold twice as much weed as the legal market.
And that's down from 4 times as much.
Yeah. The black market fell on the stock market today.
Yeah.
Plummeted to legal market. Better still. Now, I don't know how they come up with this shit, but this is what they said to the rest of the country. Right? And you go, wow. Like, you guys were so... It's just so fucking crazy, stupid, bizarre, but the whole fucking thing's a setup. Today, Canopy Growth, their stock increased 10%. And it's because they signed up with this outfit this outfit from the United States called Piper Jaffray. And those people are experts at mergers and company acquisitions. Right? Big time. Top fucking 10 in the United States, this company. And
That's big.
so Piper Jaffray was convicted in 2002 by a federal grand jury of conflict of interest in fucking fixing numbers for the stock market and was fined $25 million.
That's it?
Yeah,
fuck, we made that like 10 minutes ago.
They all paid that. Like, they all paid it.
Totally just made that in the last 10 minutes. Kick it down. Don't worry about it.
It was
Just keep going.
an enforcement, it was called, that they pay $25 million. They have earnings of $1 billion. Well, $850 million a year, something like that.
That's some good bang.
So, anyway, because
Good
they're
bank right there.
they're powerhouse, and
Turn on the tap.
they came out today and talked about both Tilray and Canopy Growth, and said how high both of those companies' stocks will go. Right? They said today, well, Canopy Growth, they'll go to $40.
Unless over the next 6 months we have a gold back standard reset, which could happen. Could happen.
It's my favorite time of the day is reset. But now what was I talking about?
Going up to $40 a share.
There's this Piper Jaffray comes out and says that, and Canopy Growth stock went up 10% just because they said that, right? So
That's clout.
yeah, this is a
That's when you know you're like your street cred is pretty big.
yeah. Just watch what we can do.
So yeah.
Right? And you go, wow, it will go to $40 because now they've said it will.
We'll say it 3 more times, and then boom. It's
And
there.
which is an interesting thing to do. Right? Like, really?
Shortage, jack the price.
And then potentially be involved with Canopy Growth in acquisitions and fucking takeovers of other
So
companies.
set up.
You go, what the fuck? How does this go? Like, it's so blatantly frightening.
What's frightening? It's transparent, you know. It's the typical emperor has no clothes and he's going, look, right? Nope, nothing to see here, right? It's fine. It's all cool over here. So create the shortage, drop the price. What else is new?
Crazy. And
Worked for Lamborghini.
Right? Works
so,
now you're going to create something exclusive and desirable that nobody else has. Well, that works 2 ways, right?
Worked for Lamborghini.
it's
It works for
it's
people that are
insane.
doing what they've always been doing anyway.
So, you would think, here the federal government, when they legalized cannabis, so they say, seems to be no evidence of it, but they said the reason was to take it away from the black market. So, wouldn't it make sense? Did you not think? Do you not think they had like 1 million fucking meetings and consultations about shit, and they didn't come up with the idea that you should adopt a no opt-out program across the land, so that communities and fucking idiots can't opt out of it? You have to allow it to get it out of the hands of the black market. Idiots. You're letting big cities and fucking anybody who wants to opt out of taking it out of the hands of the black market. I guess they're saying, right? Why is the city council saying that? No. We want it still in the hands of the black market and to be a danger to kids. We don't go along with the federal program at all. What the fuck? How did
They've got a council that's coming up with new ways in which it can be a danger to kids. They're a conception council.
The council on the danger
It's
to
the
kids.
the Child Endangerment Conception Council, as it's known within the industry. And they just got the contract for federal
known
fear mongering within the cannabis sector of cannabis.
Is that
Interesting.
The same people that are going, migrants are dangerous.
Well, they
Stop clubbing baby sales.
they could be behind both of those campaigns as subsidiaries.
Yeah.
The
So what? Canopy Growth fucking is yipping about having 4.6 million square feet of production facility, and there's going to be a 3-year shortage. And they're expanding to 5.6 million as fast as they can. Right? You go, wow. In 3 years, you can't have fucking enough weed? Come on, you guys.
And what happens in a couple of years when people starts getting sick off their swag and fucking start suing them like the way people are doing with vaping, like the big companies?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
gonna
no,
declare it dangerous,
it's just
or,
gonna be
they're just,
frightening.
like, fold. They're gonna just lose their stock. They're gonna watch it go up the window like Johnson & Johnson. What?
They don't care anymore. They got all the money.
Right?
They got the
They're
money.
already making
Already
cash
got
grab,
the
right?
money. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're
Yeah,
fucking
It's
set
all
up.
the cash grab.
But it just goes fucking on and on. I don't get it. Why they are? How could you predict a shortage?
Well, because they're growing it, so they know.
Well, yeah, they go what?
They're like, oh no, we're not.
Like, we don't know what we're doing.
I'm not gonna have.
Yeah, so yeah, we're not really growing any weed.
What do we got? We got 850 kilos in storage. What's coming down? Okay, so another 900 in the next 60 days. Oh shit, we're not gonna have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, we're not growing any marijuana yet.
Yeah.
We're just expanding and teaming up with fucking acquisition companies to increase our stock 10%.
Well, we may as well acquire more companies to acquire companies.
That's
It's-
what
it's-
they do.
It's the way industry grows.
like the Piranha. What are they? Ravenquest Industries.
Well, we still don't know. Maybe we still we're not quite sure on that one still.
The
You know, maybe
Ravenquest guys.
Ravenquest did that guy a solid and was like, "Hey man, you're gonna get your shit done."
But you gotta let me take over your company.
Let us buy it. We're gonna bail
He
you out.
blew the whistle on
We're
him.
gonna bail you out.
But the story continues with them. They were caught with a couple hundred kilos of black market weed that they were
boy.
pretending was not. And they are not being investigated, really.
Oh wait, Ravenquest was now caught with black market weed.
No,
Oh, the other guys.
Bonafide or
Ah.
Bonafly or whatever they are. Gonafly.
Got him fried.
Gonna rye. You know,
Gone awry.
they blamed it. They blamed it on a couple guys and keep moving. They're not at risk of losing their license, or they, I don't know, Global talked to the RCMP and they went, oh well, you know, we're assessing it still. You go and then they reported on just how much fucking surveillance goes on at their place. It sounds like a fucking prison working at anything to do with it. It is just so outrageously fucking silly that it's a fucking embarrassment is what it is. Canada and their fucking nonsense.
Well, the larger picture, right? I'm finding it interesting if you step back to see like how fucking dependent everybody's become on government.
Oh,
So maybe it's a
Fuck.
wake-up call to step back and everybody gotta start doing their own thing, food, weed, and with everything else, because the government down south shut down. It's a fucking mess down there. It's the most under-recorded mess in the world right now.
is that right?
And it's starting to affect us up here. I'm beginning to notice, like, you know, grocery shelves are a little slim, some things aren't available. It's just going to get more and more like this, right? As long as that's going on. So, the politics of it all. And everybody's up here, oh, nothing wrong up here. Well, there is. There's plenty wrong up here.
Oh, yeah.
Going down, right? Everybody's like, oh, we're not as bad as America.
That gold back
Think again.
standard reset's gonna happen.
Think again, right? Yeah, there's a lot of
Perhaps the wall is a misdirection for actually the real reason why the
No.
government is shut down.
well, they've
and
created
everybody's ignoring
instant-
all of the
it's an instant
political
slave
arrests
state, right?
that are happening right now and stuff. Maybe this wall is actually just like, oh, that's why we got to shut the
Al,
government
the
down.
wall is a swerve, right? It's just
Oh, yeah.
something for a bunch of racists to look at, right? You know what
No,
they're
it's
doing
something to
essentially is
sway.
they're creating like a slave state, right? They've just gotten like
Craig
a
X
nation to
in the
work for
house?
free, and some call it patriotism. Oh,
There's some serious stuff going on
it's
there.
really serious. So it'll be interesting. We live in interesting times.
Buy
to
gold.
See all this unfold.
Buy
down
gold.
low, right? RCMP take down peaceful people, take land, take gas.
Oh, yeah. It's
All these
fucking
resources
crazy.
that are fucking extinct, that should be extinct. Leave it in the ground, right? There's so many different things we could do.
Why are massive amounts of money in the RCMP and fucking army or whatever they sent out there at the fucking pipeline protest?
Millions of dollars.
Millions
buddy.
and millions of dollars. Who the fuck said that you can spend the money on that?
No one.
Like,
That's Canada's
not-
all about that.
Like, who
no
said-
consultation, no consent. So
what the
y'all
fuck?
welcome being treated
you-
like Indians.
Oh yeah. Well,
Citizens
You tell me.
give sole consultation and
That's true.
all consent the minute they put that check mark in their
Hello.
voting box.
Right? Canada's
That's
just
where
being
you
Canada.
that's where you've given sole consent, and they don't got to check with you after. Once you voted, that's it. You know, they don't got to check to say, hey, you think this is a good idea? It's
No,
like,
they
no,
say, well,
you voted us
you
in with
voted
good
for us.
confidence,
Too bad.
and we're going to do this in
Yeah.
good confidence that this is what you
get
want
the
as a
fuck
citizen.
out of the way.
Yeah.
Get out of the way now. And
I just want some of that weed you guys are smoking.
Oh, yeah?
I was upstairs and I was like, I gotta come downstairs for a second.
Yeah, you're here.
Well.
You want to sit? Sorry. Sit. I'll move my
Don't wanna
fucking
crash the par-
luggage.
Don't want to crash the party, but
You do.
yeah.
Don't
Come on
fucking
in.
lie.
You're welcome to.
Mike's probably-
Craig X just crashed
Oh,
the
he's
party.
running, turn the
I was in
mic
the
off.
building.
Wonder how that.
He'll turn on the mic.
Wonder how that saying ever came to be, to crash a party. What?
Right?
I'm sure it's on Wikipedia.
Yeah. Well,
Hello.
everything is. Oh, there they are. Yeah, we were talking about a lot of things. eh?
Lot to talk about, man. There's been a couple of big stories in the news. Neither of them particularly positive stories that I want to be seeing or hearing.
Right?
Yeah, basically both two kick in the nuts for two huge communities that don't deserve it in really any way, shape, or form, and are getting railroaded into a system that none of them want any part of, and that is really not a good look except for a small number of controlling people.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe I'm just drawing parallels. I don't know.
Right? What do we know?
Yeah, I'm not even wearing my expert joint shirt right now, so I can't even claim.
I can't even make the claims because I'm not wearing.
I'm wearing a t-shirt.
I don't got my uniform on.
All right, so, you know.
I'm wearing my psychoactivist.
So then I guess I should say, in theory, hypothetically, there could be plausible speculation to that theory.
Right. Well, I'm wearing my ceremonial toque, so I'll just stand up there and say,
That does
fuck
look like
That
a cultural
helps.
hand-me-down from
It
many
is, right?
generations.
Yeah.
I did not see that at the Gap at all. Like,
I made it. Right? And we were just talking about that, you know, like about government dependence, right? We need government to do this for us, not government to do that for us.
certainly don't need them to grow my
Fuck
weed.
them, right? Right.
I'm biased, of course, on that.
Yeah.
I, don't need them to
I
grow
see
my
that
weed.
in the chat today. Everybody's like, fuck, get seeds, grow your own. Get seeds, grow your
Yep.
own. Right? Hello? That's what we're going to do.
Well,
seeds.
What?
Grow your own.
How?
Sister M, Esma Chronic. Get seeds, grow your own.
So they did have seeds available for about 20 minutes here across Canada last
20 minutes?
week.
Really?
They had two strains from Tweed.
Yeah.
One unnamed. They're all unnamed. One was high THC. The other was a little higher CBD.
Didn't I see somewhere in the proposed regulations, they were talking about the proposed topicals, edibles, limits, that little chart that they put out. Somewhere I was pretty sure I saw either on that chart or it was in one of the accompanying documents or an interview associated with it, where they were talking about, we're not going to be prosecuting Canadians who pass a few seeds back and forth. We're not looking at that. Like, in theory, if you have a couple, you could still give some to Greg. It's the being able to buy them legitimately. I think that they're looking, obviously, to
Well,
control for themselves as tight as possible. Of course.
I
But-
guess they should have got themselves a seed consultant somehow.
An
Somewhere.
expert?
Yeah, an
Someone who
expert.
used to sit behind a seed desk for many years, perchance?
Well, no, they went and got one.
John Turner. Because he fucking knows all about it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bill
really?
Blair.
Not exactly scared, but yeah.
Yeah, right? We're going to ask Phil Fontaine, because Uncle Phil knows everything. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
All these guys. No, they and they sold out of those. Now they said they were feminized seeds, but they couldn't guarantee that they would bud.
Hey, 40% is better than no percent. What do you want?
Well, what a stupid thing to even say, though. Like,
Still a
bud?
product that sort of works, kind of.
I think they meant germinate. right? Like, how could you predict if it's going to bud?
We
Or-
bred these for mutations, and we really can't
We don't know what
say
they are.
one way or the other if they're going to bud in the traditional way of flowering plants.
These could be males, they could be female. We don't know. We're pretty sure the jar said female. We can't tell you that. I don't know, though.
We confiscated these took those from Mark Emery in 2005.
And we had them ever since.
Yeah, and
We
then
think they're still good.
all those extras we got from Dana Larson there in fucking 20 fucking 12 in Calgary that night.
Exactly.
Buckets of seeds we got from him.
Well, don't forget there are those
But they
pot plants
might
found
not
growing in the
bud.
West End in the little cul-de-sac there as
They
well too.
found them
that
in
Dana said
odd
that-
spots all over the city.
Uh-huh.
Just rogue weed.
I think it was because Dana was tweeting because that's where he planted them a month earlier. He just was trying to create the hype. Oh, look, there's a pot plant here. What do you know?
But they're not even trying on any front here, really. Come on. And nobody's saying, right? Nobody's saying anything about the shortage. None of the suppliers are talking about it, of course.
Well, none of,
But-
none of the suppliers and licensed producers are talking about the fact they're buying weed from the black market and pushing it out into their supplies into the licensed system. There's that.
Yeah.
I
Even.
saw somebody want to borrow my bud cam not that long ago. So they pulled over some of the legal product, and everything under there. 2 out of 3 had mold and or rot. And one of them had like virtually no heads, no life to it, no nothing. Like it was just dead looking weed. And that one, the minute you lit it, you knew instantly that, oh, that's not what before you even inhaled, just as soon as it hit your,
Oh, it's like,
oh.
was it Moonbeam?
I don't know. It's not what I call
Moonbeam.
weed, not what I want to smoke. Yeah, no, I have yet to actually say that I can smoke that. I got this close to one and went, oh no, I can't even try that. That was the best of the bunch. No. So yeah, no. I've heard a couple of them are starting to get better. I've heard, not that I want to promote any brands particular, but I've heard of 1 or 2 brands that are maybe starting to, from some of the people from the industry, are like better than others. And I know that eventually some people will come over and start growing better weeds somehow.
Oh, for
But
sure.
Until then,
Well,
man, it's
that's
fucking
not-
wax out there, man.
Until then, like, fuck off, because
Right.
why should we suffer through you learning how to grow weed? Fuck off. We've already figured it out.
Drives out or dictates otherwise. Why not let the people doing it? Once you can produce products that are as good on price or better products at lower prices, you will take over the market then. So beat them with your ability to fucking just mass produce and get it to more people. Like if you
Wow.
can dial it in. I mean, you can't really mass produce big rooms full of weed particularly well. But
Yeah, you can. There's a total way of mass producing
Well, you
killer
can also make a lot of
cannabis.
small rooms as well too. Like there is systems that will get better and better, and they can dial it in. And that's how they will be able to drive out the black market that they want to, or they want to crush the mom and pops. Or
Well,
otherwise, you're just producing shitty weed,
No,
and
they-
you're just
And
contributing to
if
fucking.
Craig knows anything, it's about taking over.
Right? Yeah, right. I'm trying to fucking take over this here, and there. But no, I do think that. No, I mean, I really do think that, it's
The
always
jungle.
about weed. It's not, you either had your guy or your girl or whoever your people were had good weed, bad weed, or no weed for a long time, and that's how it was.
Hey, you guys are just playing tennis with my joint now.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I thought you guys had that one.
There's a reason I rolled this one.
That's the only
15
thing
love.
that matters. Who's got the good weed at the end of the day? And until they have weed that's as good as anybody
Apparently
else,
I do.
You got great weed. We smoked a lot of it. It was very nice.
but in the world here now, like it really, the bottom line for me in this whole issue is that marijuana does not cause harm or is a danger to public safety. It is neither one of those things. And certainly here in Vancouver, with all the dispensaries we've had, there's been no mayhem. There's been no outcry of people being hurt by the
It's
products.
absolute
that they
marijuana
consume.
mayhem here in Vancouver upon legalization.
At my dispensary, not one individual in all the individuals has ever come back and said that they got hurt by what they bought at my shop.
No,
Ever.
crowd control.
No complaints.
Nobody dropped like a gram on their foot and was like, I broke my toe.
People had lost their weed. We'd
The
give them
weed was
free
so
weed,
dense.
for God's
Even though it was a
sakes.
gram, it was super dense. Ow.
I tripped on a ground.
Many other scenarios.
In a lot of cases, a dispensary should be run, man. I mean,
Well, that was the point. Then, it is the point of showing how easily it can be done and not cause any mayhem. So if there's been no incidences because of the shop being there and anybody complaining whatsoever that they were hurt or anything, what are you doing? Why would you regulate it any other way? That's all it needs to be, and how much it needs to be regulated, in my mind, is based on how much fucking damage it does. And it's none. It's just a perceived fucking bunch of bullshit that Bill Blair marched across the country with, blabbering to every cop and fucking
they've always had to demonetize
public safety.
right? First
Well,
they try
yeah.
to take out, the jazz players and control, Mexican and black populations, and then obviously the whole thing with hippies and along with
Take
war
advantage of it all along the way.
stuff, right? And they changed their tone every couple of decades as to why weed was bad for you and why now this is the new thinking and why you can't like it. It's in the Reefer Madness movie where the one of those movies. Grass. I think
Yeah.
They go through it. It's true.
Decade by
The story
decade.
but now it's just different.
No, they
stories.
just made it up all along.
But it's not really. It's going to be girl with black and white. It's not really.
Or for the pets.
Well, unless you let the city of Mississauga opt out. Like, really? How the fuck? How many people live in that fucking local area that don't get to be able to shop for weed in their neighborhood, for fuck's sakes?
Oh no,
Because
maybe
of what?
Mississauga's like they're gonna let black market prevail.
Yeah.
Mississauga's like, no,
That's
we
where
got a really good black market here. We're gonna opt out of this whole legal thing.
Maybe they've got a deal already.
Yeah.
Maybe there's already a deal with the city in place.
So there was a story out there today that, I don't know, some idiot, I can't remember exactly the basis of the story, but they let out of the bag where the fucking secret warehouse of weed in Ontario is.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah, like right down to the street and all this other shit, eh?
Wow.
Now we know where to find your moldy weed.
Yeah, stay away from. Don't try to buy it.
Yeah.
You get mold.
And they're venting.
Yeah, they're worried about people trying to
Blast out
break in.
this-
I'm worried about trying to not go there.
Oh, they knew it was there because
Is that
of
with a
all
lung infection breaking in there?
We're going to take that road.
and they knew it was there because of all the dead children around it.
Well, because cannabis and children, they're just like
children. You could tell there was an epidemic in the neighborhood of children being harmed.
Why wouldn't there be?
The youth, they used to call them the youth. Oh, we had so many youth here at one
Gang
time.
members and stone pets.
Right?
So, that's the thing of it all, for God's sakes.
very dark, very.
Economic outlook is not looking so good there.
So for me, it's never really mattered that it, whether or not it helped you with some sort of condition that you have, or you just smoked it for your own enjoyment. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt anyone.
And maybe it helps you with a condition you don't ever get.
So why don't you regulate shit based on the danger here? And I think we should be pressuring these people to actually tell us what that danger is, to justify this overregulation because of this perceived danger.
They still have no bodies to show.
No, they've never been asked.
And
No
I
one's
think-
challenged
I
it.
think it sort of touched on that with like the preventative nature, right, of using cannabis. Like they call it recreational. Well, what about all the disease you can prevent? Oh, gee, medical system might go out of business. Uh-oh.
Well, that's
Government,
fucked.
right?
That's
Yeah, right?
fucked.
Like they're up in going. They're up in all our business, and I'm sick of it. Right? I'm sick of how they tax everybody. At the end of the day, we've all paid 78% of like everything we have to the fucking government every damn day, right? When you fill up on gas, you're getting taxed again. When you get groceries, you're getting taxed again. When you buy a cigarette, you're being taxed again. When you know, like
Everywhere.
over and over, and they did the math, and over the course of a year, like, you know, it averages to 78%.
Taxi
of
cabs and
your
takeout.
income
That's the answer.
is gone, including what they
Grow
put
your
in
own
your
weed,
paycheck,
taxi
and
cabs and
everything else,
takeout.
right? Fuck, man, I was like, wow, like, you know, I'm so sick of the government. I hope
So,
you guys are too, right?
Minimize your tax
a
footprint.
long time ago, we're sick of the
Takeout
government.
and taxi cabs. Just think all those ingredients that you're paying tax on. You could just amalgamate those with one takeout order.
Something.
You're paying less tax with
Would
takeout.
add up in a year.
Less tax with
You
takeout.
could invest that in a diversified portfolio and really make some.
Oh, for real.
Long term.
Right? And they say it's still not enough. Right? So they got to steal from us
Couldn't
too.
buy a house in Vancouver with it, but
No.
Then
Give
they
it
say
another year, the market's going down.
totally.
It rolls around with the oil,
Yeah,
right?
2020 is going to be the year.
The other worst kept secret, right? Oil right, is on its way.
I like rolling oil. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I
that
quite
goes
enjoy
well.
oil.
Grease up a paper.
I used to do that. I used to do that.
You'd smoke it and drive on that oil.
Yeah.
Well,
You ever drive on oil, man?
On oil.
it's so slick. You feel so slick. Yeah, like good oil. There's a lot of stuff being floated around out there in the world. This thing, of course, is terpenes. This little.
And they're not bum terpenes, contrary to popular belief.
They
I don't know
are.
where you guys got that from.
You started that.
I have no.
They're actually spectacular terpenes.
Oh.
Studio. Thanks for the joint.
All right.
See you later, Craig.
Thanks for letting me come in for a minute and say hi.
Anytime.
Expert show crash.
Yeah. Tomorrow it's the 420.
Yeah, I'm gonna come crash
Yeah,
your show.
Tune in for Expert
Crash and
Show.
Craig's show tomorrow.
Greg, you're always
Huh?
welcome to. Now that you know, got nothing to do anymore, Greg, you're always welcome to.
Well, I might crash.
Pee-
I have
pee
to
on the
crash
set.
here, though.
Don't hit anything.
I'm gonna one up you. I'm one upping you tomorrow, man. I'm gonna pee on your set.
Hey!
Yeah, so.
Really show him how to crash a show.
Right? Crash a show to cool it.
Coming in here claiming he's crashing shows, doesn't pee on anything. Whatever.
You know.
So, yeah, not too progressive here in the 21st century. Well, into the.
Canada.
A little more conservative.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, how. I don't know. If I was the mayor, you'd think you'd want to have fun. Isn't that on the list anywhere? Having fun? Come on. What the fuck? Is there too much money at stake?
Yes.
There is. The
And too
alcohol
much money in your
industry is
hands?
Kicking hard. They must be really kicking something hard. You know, they must be threatening to take away like millions and billions of dollars from something. For
Nah, the alcohol industry is so heavily invested in the cannabis industry.
Yeah,
but,
they
you
don't
I think
care.
they just want to be in control of it.
They across the fucking sector. When I read, it's all about this how many billions the industry's worth and predicted to be, and you go, well, it's still on prohibition fucking prices.
Oh, it's always gonna be
You
that.
guys, come on, like
They're gonna. You watch. They'll create an even higher price point that's beyond prohibition
yeah.
pricing.
Oh, way beyond. They're
Um,
headed there already.
Look at the guy in, was it Washington, who just sold the $10,000 blend? Was that Washington?
Really?
Vegas? Okay, maybe yeah,
More
Vegas.
more
So
Vegas,
like
yeah.
we're gonna see a new
Oh, yeah.
a new precedent being set in what connoisseur pricing is. I mean, let's face it,
Anything
it's
new.
in everything connoisseur. It doesn't matter what sector you're looking at. If you're looking at watches, you're looking at shoes, you're looking at handbags, you're looking at cars. It doesn't matter what sector you're looking in. There's that upper echelon price range, and those brands don't crash. They don't even have to fucking advertise.
We got a better weed
You know?
Interesting.
So
Oh no, they're
so
wanting
price
to get
range
their
price range
profit.
is going to go up, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I really think that somebody's going to come along with a plan and a well executed plan to have cannabis at $7 and less a gram retail. You watch, because that's the largest share of lung out there.
Well, given half a chance, fucking near anybody could come up with that. But they don't want to. They based it all on the highest price.
Currently, but right now that's they're stuck in that. So the only thing they can do is go higher. Right? They can't tell their investors, look, we're cutting profits.
No.
We're cutting profits. We got to get lower prices. We're going to cut profits.
We got to
They
get
can't
our
tell
stock
investors
to
that.
fucking
But what they can tell their
$40.
investors is, hey, look, we're going to set up a subsidiary in a joint venture or an all-out merger, or we're going to acquire this group.
Yeah.
And we're
Get, Piper
we're
on
going to
the phone.
focus on the $3 to $7 a gram, because that represents 90% of the consumer market, and we're going to own that share of lung. You watch, that's going to happen.
Share
No
of
way around
lung.
it. It can't not happen.
Lung share, they call it.
Well, it's in
Thank you.
in food and beverage, it's share of stomach. That's what I've learned is it's
I
it's
feel
share
like
of
that
stomach.
when I walk into Safeway. They only see me as a stomach.
It's true.
They don't fucking care.
It's true, and this is going to be share of lung. There's no way around it.
Like that Bugs Bunny cartoon. Around. Cooked item.
So the struggle continues, as they say. And the stigma here in Vancouver, the first licensed city dispensary did open. That very day, the guy who fucking owns it was bitching about the black market dispensaries and how they're getting too much of the share. Very first day, the guy is complaining. Like, really? Didn't you see that coming? Uh-oh. The drinks just keep on coming. I don't think I can drink anymore, you guys. That's funny for me. Well. All right, then. I still think that
Guess which one the coin's under?
the table...
Back where we started.
The table is under the mall. Guess which one the table's under. So, yeah, it's all fucking sleight of hand out there in the world. Nice segue, I think.
Was that well timed, or was that well timed? I'll tell you what.
You
that
just
was
take a
well
little
timed.
comedic moment to
reflect.
to make a segue.
Yeah.
And
Segues are pretty comedic.
so I don't know. It's just...
Till you fall.
We'll see what
That's really funny.
transpires next. We'll probably do some form of collective protesting around this somehow. But I don't know. They've just allowed too many people to fucking get their mitts on it here. And they're kind of wrecking it. That's, that's why I don't want to play along. I don't want to open a shop and sell their weed. Fuck that. They stole it from us. And now they've ruined it. And they want us to sell that? Not a chance. And why would you do that? Like, what kind of people are you? What kind of fucking industry builders have you become?
Set up a whole LP distribution franchise that funds the court case, the to free dispensaries.
Free the weed. Yeah, I don't know. I think anybody should fucking be able to grow weed and sell it.
I agree.
It doesn't hurt anyone, evidently. So, if, in fact, I was to get a license to run a government fucking clinic, Well, like these are just empty stores with people who are not allowed to say anything about it.
It's just a weed 7-Eleven.
Yeah. You don't ask them too much about
What happens when
what's it-
7-Eleven can start selling weed? Whoa!
Oh, they will.
Could be like their taquitos.
But
So it's like there's like weed 7-Elevens, and then there's the 7-Elevens that sell weed, and it's like, whoa, which one do I go to? Because it's like if I go to the weed 7-Eleven, I'm just gonna have to go to 7-Eleven to get my munchies. But if I go to 7-Eleven, I can buy my munchies and my weed. Smoke it outside in the parking lot and come back and get more weed and munchies.
You could get weed infused munchies.
10 milligrams is not infused. Come on. 10 milligrams.
Right?
Well,
That's
it's
a way.
childish.
That's a way to maximize the dollar amount on a gram of isolate. That's what that is.
yeah, and you eat more sugar.
Yeah, how do we turn a kilo into $1 million? Oh, 10 milligram limitations.
No, it's ludicrously embarrassing. So I don't know. You just got to buy a lot. It's a
And
fucking
get like a
setup.
stomach ache because
Already.
you wanted to get a 200 milligram dose in you, which is like entry level, really.
Already, it's a setup. No, it's. I
But
don't know.
smokable extracts, they're allowing up to 1,000 milligrams per package, and up to an eighth quantity is what the maximum allotment for a package will be. So essentially, you can buy a gram of distillate, you know, because it's going to come in at just under 1,000 milligrams. It'll come in around 900 milligrams or whatever.
But they won't have any.
For sure, they will.
But they won't have any. No, they're going to put off providing the weed for as long as they possibly can here.
See, they're gonna figure out.
Doesn't
they're gonna
cost-
figure out that they can take all of the shitty weed that didn't pass grade for public consumption and turn it into extracts. That's what they're gonna.
Well,
figure
that's
out.
what they've done damn near the whole thing anyway.
Put
It's just moldy extracts.
Put that unregulated weed
Yeah.
into your gummy bears.
Well, it's interesting how they came. Oh, they announced they were coming up with new regulations for these things right after that story broke.
But whatever. It's the
No,
way. It's the
that's
way
how
new
it goes.
marketplaces are forged.
So, this.
Not sure how it became a new marketplace, but somehow it's a new marketplace.
Yeah, middlemen. New middlemen have come in and
Government.
crowded in there. They've come off the train and they've run into town here.
Government. Just
Middlemen train shown up. So here's the thing, Bonify. What the fuck? What was my point of that going to be? I don't know.
You can do it, man. I know this one. This one's well. This is a pretty edgy segment here, and Greg had a lot of reservations, but you can do it, Greg.
I'm not being emotional. I can't remember what I was going to say. But potentially, somebody might know what I was thinking out there.
Potentially, it might have had something to do with Bonafide.
I don't know. It's all a fucking scam. But we'll see where it will all come apart the next time. All right? Like, they're not guaranteeing. They just said today there's going to be a shortage of weed for 3 years. You go, wow, like, really? Like, what kind of fucking business are you people in? Are you in it or not? Apparently, the black market outsold you by twice the amount in the same amount of time. So, isn't there enough weed? Seems to be enough weed. Nobody's saying, hey, there's not enough weed. It's just that the legal providers don't have any. And we didn't need you. We're showing you that we don't need you. Don't you get it already? Didn't you get it when it was you were the medicinal providers that nobody wanted you? Did you get that impression? Because they didn't ever order anything from you? And then, right? It's going to happen again. Come on. Why wouldn't it? What's the difference? It just won't be. It wasn't with dispensaries then. There wasn't a whole raft of dispensaries opening, no, outselling everybody. It was a black market, straight up. That's where they all went and got their weed. So, what the fuck are you people doing? I don't know. I can't imagine that they're even setting it up to let the cops swoop on the black market, so they got something to do. Like, they don't give a fuck. They already got the money. Doesn't matter. That's what it's all boiled down to now. Except we just don't have a good, fun cannabis industry to play in. Even though we were the only people that actually showed you what it would be like to have a nice, fun, legal. They went, no, you can't have that. No, we got to restrict it and fucking hide it and restrict it severely. Vigorously.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Vigorously restricted.
You put an eye out.
You'll electrocute yourself.
And they just march around saying this shit, and then they do that, right? And they take total advantage of the position. So, I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. But we got till the end of the month. But I don't know. I've lived an interesting life here at Cannabis Culture where, yeah, we're kind of day by day. You don't think too far in advance. Maybe just past next week's schedule. But that's about it all the time for all these years. So I don't know. Legalization's a little different in that they at least warned us. They never warned us before. Shut down by this date. Stop doing what you're doing. Or
what?
And kind of ironically, I don't know, it's probably not ironic, but coincidentally, when I was being interviewed by the DEA way back when over the seed business, and I said to them, you know, if you guys had sent us a letter on your letterhead threatening us with fucking 40 years in prison if we didn't stop doing this, I said, we might well have stopped. Yeah, I said, you know, you could have tried that. Instead of bring down the fucking hammer as hard as you can on people.
You ever think of writing like a fringe play, the DEA Chronicles?
Yeah.
Be a funny.
I got a few stories.
It'd be a funny, funny play.
Those nights in the elevator with the DEA. At Jack in the Box one afternoon.
Yeah, kind of like what was his name? Oh fuck, Sterling. He did Swimming to Cambodia. No?
No, it's too many sharks. I was escorted to Jack in the Box by 2 ICE agents one day for lunch. And allowed to not be handcuffed and get out of the car, which was highly unusual, apparently.
All right, we're going to take the cuffs off and take you out of the... You're going to promise not to run, right?
I said, you know...
Don't make us have to chase you because we'll shoot.
I saw the Jack in the Box in the distance. I said, you know, we haven't eaten anything all day, and there's a Jack in the Box, and we don't have Jack in the Box in Canada. That'd be fun to try. They paid for lunch. It's kind of nice.
Holy fuck, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, you
that
know,
was-
Steve, it is in our budget.
It was an interesting.
I was just thinking that, Larry. Let's take the kids for an experience before they get their 40 years. Dun, dun, dun. Next
going-
week on the DEA Chronicles.
Going down to Seattle, we were handcuffed in the back seat. But on the return trip, the agent said, "So, you can just put your own cuffs on." And we looked at each other and went,
It's like, what?
So that means, yeah, we don't have to maybe even put them on, said. And
You can just put.
So-
Sorry, officer, I didn't bring any.
yeah. So we handcuffed both the agents the moment
Hate-
we had a chance with our
Hate to ask you to use yours.
We handcuffed them to the car and got the fuck out of there at Jack in the Box. I've been working there ever since. And that's how that story ended. I know we took the long way around for an hour, but
Hey, we had to, needed some build up.
there was a guy on the internet got into trouble. He was selling farts on the internet without a vendor's permit. Was that the case?
He was selling farts back in March of
Without
2018.
a license.
He got busted for selling farts in a jar without a license.
And that's how that started. So,
So-
you know,
Note to anybody out there who's farting in jars and just putting it out there willy nilly.
You need a license.
You know, dark web, whatever you're doing, Instagram with your fart pages. You know, we got farts in a jar, farts in a jar. If you guys are doing that,
no, I don't think so. I don't think he should.
If you Googled that.
I don't think he
well,
should.
apparently
get a
there's
license.
legislation in place where you could get a permit to sell farts in a jar.
I'm hoping he doesn't get a license, but hey, that's just me.
He's got him in the lottery.
Yeah, it should be a lottery.
Well, it just
Like that.
to me it blew my mind because like
Take it. You just
Kind of what it is.
well,
in
well that's
Ontario.
the thing, you just never know. I mean, this whole time I thought I was buying legitimately sanctioned farts in a jar, and it turns out they're black market. You know,
See, so now look
You-
at you with your bum terps. So,
You can tell. Right
well
away.
that's
All
that's
right.
why that's why we ended up securing the bum terps. So it's like whatever, we don't even need to go down the black market farts in a jar
Right, that's
road
just
anymore.
right.
That really does.
Greg
bring-
reached out. He's like, "Hey man, I need
That's so 20 years.
I
some bum
need,
terps."
I need a theme for the show. So there you go. It did come full circle, I'd have to say. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, as you always have. And for those of you who are new, yeah, this is what we got.
Farts in a jar.
And more. But yeah, thanks for everybody looking in all week long on Pot TV. There'll be stuff to watch every day, 4 o'clock. Light it up. So thanks to Al for being here and Rose for joining us and Anil for keeping us lit. Huh. How that goes around. See how that went around from lit to lit. Eh?
Life is lit.
Nothing but the hits. All hits all day. Hit me again. I'm still moving. So, thanks for Vicky joining us too. And all you people out there in Pot TV land. Hope your winter ain't 50 below. Today here it was 20, but it felt like 6. Here's a thing too I noticed on the fucking weather. Weather is such a joke. They told me that the visibility was 16 kilometers.
feels like
Yeah, but it feels like only as far as I can fucking see. Doesn't it?
Would you ever think that you could
can
see 16 kilometers?
16 kilometers?
Maybe
you
we
go,
can.
no, fucking Bob, take another step back. Fucking 16 kilometers away. You can't. There's not. Who the fuck is this calculation for?
Well, it depends how big it is. I mean, I'm sure from my house, the mountains are more than 16 kilometers. And I could see them. So I think it depends how big the object is that you are peering at.
So, but still, it's just all blurry. It's a big thing blurry over there, isn't it? 16 kilometers.
Well,
Oh,
not when you're
good.
looking at a mountain. It's like, holy fuck, I could just like walk there in an hour.
Who needs this but the 10 guys flying out of the fucking airport here every day? Really, who needs this information? You know, I was out on the deck this morning. Swear to God.
What about
See
all of
16
the
kilometers.
what about all the professional site competitors out there?
Yeah, but I'm not.
They're like in like
Those guys are
international
good. They
skiing
can see things
competitions.
at a
Like
distance.
the object is 16.8 kilometers away.
He's nailed it, folks. 16.8.
Oh, he's seen it. He's seen it. This is an exciting day. 16.8 kilometers, folks.
Bob, take another step back.
Sweden gets the gold.
And they still could never see Bigfoot.
Yeah.
That's because he like blends. He holds like peach branches and stuff. It's like I'm a tree.
Right?
So the other day at the shop, quite often you pull a bud out of the jar for customers to have a look at, and they're quite big. So every once in a while I'll say, so guess how much this weighs, and I'll give it to you for free. I said, but you got to get it right on. And a lot of the times they just, they don't know really, and they go, wow, 3. Or this guy said 4. And I'm going, what, like, really? Like, you think it's 4 exactly, or you want to add a point, or really have a chance to win it, I said. And he goes, okay, well, 4.4. So I weighed the bud, and it was 4 right on.
No. Did you give it to him anyway?
I did give it to him anyway.
Like, all right, you're right with your first guess. Lesson here is don't be swayed. Only giving you half the bud.
So the next time we did it, working with Rianne, and the customer says, well, I think it's 3. And Rianne says, well, don't you want to win it? Aren't you going to go guess a point or something like that? Hey, she was making fun of the whole scenario. So that's all I got.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was prepared for a whole lot more.
We got. There's always more.
And
I
wait,
don't
there's
know.
more.
I wish. Do we have by any chance, have a copy of the Amsterdam comics in this room?
Not in the room, no.
David and Bob High made a comic.
Yeah.
It's 420 pages thick.
And conspired. If you see it, fucking look at it.
If you see it, buy
How
it.
long did they work on it?
Couple years, man.
The upper right-hand corner on the cover is a picture of me playing pool
Yeah.
and Bob. And they doctored it so that I was the loser.
Right.
Right. They had their names on the chalkboard. DML, David, 3 games he'd won. Bob had won 2 games, and I'd won 1.
Well, you know that was never the case.
And then they had the picture was me fucking scratching hard on the 8 ball and cursing. So I called him up on it when I saw him the next time. I said, so what the fuck is... He started laughing so hard how they fucking conspired to do that. way too much fun. Because
That was actually how the book started. They're like, "Hey, let's make a book, and it's gonna start with this." And then they're like, they were on the hook to come up with this whole thing, and
we can make it look like we can beat him. No. Anyway, maybe we'll have a copy and I'll show you.
And if you've ever seen any of the legendary pool games between David
spectacular
and Greg
shit.
and Bob, you know that Greg was the victor. You know, usually Bob would beat David.
They would be cursing the magical fucking shot that I just made, but it artistically doesn't look so good, does it? Better to have the 8-ball flying off the table and me cursing, doesn't it? Then how could you show the magic?
Yeah.
Of that ball because it had been fucking rocketed in
Well,
the
the way I would do it
3 rails
would be there would be a blank table, there would be the full extended cue, and then a little swirl, a little swirl draw mark. Yeah, it's a draw mark. That's what they call it in art. It's a swirl draw mark. Okay, that's an artistic term. I don't know if you guys knew that out there.
In the industry.
So then you got a swirl draw mark with part of the cue ball just going down the corner pocket and a blank table. And you just know, and then maybe it says swish.
And the amazement on Bob's face.
Which means like he just cleared that table. Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
But the swirl draw mark is the key.
Well, Bob Ross taught that style of art. The
Yes.
draw mark.
The draw mark, yeah.
Yes.
The
Make a
draw marks of Bob Ross. They weren't called paintings or anything like that. They were draw marks.
Let's get out of here. We're talking about Bob Ross now.
No, stop.
Bob Ross is...
Stop talking.
Yes. I'll stop talking. That's the solution.
Perpetual
Thanks for
inspiration
joining
with
us,
Bob
and
Ross.
we'll see you next week. I'm Marijuana Man. Peace. And what? Pot. Oh, no, I got 3 stories I forgot.
Oh, well.
Researchers at Social Science Research Network, the Journal of Health Economics, the U.S. National Institute on Drug Abuse, the National Bureau of Economic Research, and the Journal of the American Medical Association. All of these studies have proven without a doubt that cannabis, not just cannabis itself, but cannabis dispensaries reduce deaths and overdoses by up to 33%, and that is a significant number. That is huge.
So the harms caused by closing these stores is immediate. Loss of access for thousands, loss of hundreds of jobs, and the loss of a safe alternative to medicine, to opioids, and other addictive drugs.
We need to have treatment on demand, and this is treatment on demand. We need to have safe access to safe drugs. These are safe drugs. We need to have choices for people. This is the choice they need to make.
Important social issues require taking a stand, even when bigger powers at higher levels of government might be telling you to do otherwise. But when it means that it's an issue like this, where you can make a difference by taking a stand, where Vancouver's historical reputation as a drug policy leader could make a difference, you have a court decision now telling you you have the right to do whatever you would like to do in order to address this. So please consider my recommendations to the task force, and thank you for your time.
This is my daughter, Haley. Without medical cannabis, she is at risk of life-threatening status epilepticus. One thing that she wanted to say.
Sure.
Please don't shut down the clubs where I have access to medication I need.
Thank you.